In a transport yard, a worker works to close a heavy steel ramp on a low-bed trailer when the task proves more difficult than anticipated. Workers should never position any part of their body within the potential movement path of a loading ramp. If manual lifting is unavoidable, a buddy system or an appropriate mechanical assist must be used to help manage the load. On this active masonry site, workers use a heavy loader bucket to raise materials to the top of a freestanding brick wall. During the lift, a serious hazard develops. Improvised lifting methods using earth-moving equipment must never be used. Front-end loaders are designed for pushing and scooping loose materials, not for controlled vertical lifting. In this busy logistics yard, a container truck begins a routine reversing maneuver. The driver, however, has no visual contact with a worker standing directly behind the vehicle. The area directly behind a truck is a complete visibility gap where mirrors provide no usable view. Anyone standing in this zone faces an elevated operational safety risk due to the operator's lack of visual awareness. Workers must remain constantly aware of vehicle movement in loading areas. Never turn your back on an operating vehicle or assume it is stationary. A simple rule applies. If you cannot see the driver's face in their mirror, they cannot see you, and you must reposition immediately. On a busy public street, workers carrying long wooden planks attempt to cross moving traffic. As they approach the sidewalk, an unexpected incident unfolds. When carrying long materials such as lumber or pipes, the hazard zone extends well beyond the carrier's body. If a vehicle contacts the protruding end, it can act as a lever, causing an unexpected loss of balance and forcing the material to move unpredictably into the surrounding space. Extended loads should never be transported across moving traffic without a dedicated spotter to fully stop vehicles. Whenever possible, materials should be carried vertically or at a steep angle to reduce horizontal reach. Inside a delivery truck, a worker works to line up heavy industrial drums for forklift pickup. Standing near the open rear, a small misstep quickly turns the routine task into a tense moment. Working near an unprotected truck bed edge creates a significant safety concern. Shifting heavy cargo alters balance, and without a physical barrier, even a minor loss of stability can escalate into an unsafe elevated edge scenario. A safe buffer zone must always be maintained from the truck's rear edge, or a restraint system should be used. Workers should never rely on body weight to push heavy cargo toward an open rear area. Mechanical aids such as pallet jacks should always be used to reposition drums safely. In this industrial stockyard, a crane lifts a large bundle of steel beams. As the load rises, a performance irregularity occurs within the rigging system. No one should ever position themselves beneath or within the movement range of a suspended load. Mechanical systems may not perform as expected under stress, and when irregular movement occurs, the load becomes a difficult-to-control moving object. A clearly defined exclusion zone must account for both the potential downward travel path of the load and the possible movement range of the crane arm. Rigging components must be inspected for wear and fatigue before lifting begins. On a steep construction embankment, a loaded site dumper experiences reduced traction and begins an unplanned backward movement down the slope. Operating dumpers on inclines introduces gravity-driven risk, where braking systems may struggle against momentum. When unplanned movement begins, attempting to exit the vehicle significantly increases the chance of contact with the machine or the surrounding terrain. The most critical safety principle is to remain seated and secured. The rollover protective structure, props, is engineered to protect the operator when they remain inside the cab. Parking brakes should never be relied upon alone on slopes. Machines must be parked on level ground or secured using wheel chocks. Inside a confined utility room, a technician stands on a ladder while servicing an industrial water heater. Unexpectedly, the vessel experiences an internal system malfunction caused by excessive pressure buildup. Pressurized vessels store large amounts of energy. A water heater with a blocked relief valve or hidden internal weakness presents an elevated pressure-related safety concern. If internal pressure exceeds design limits, a rapid pressure release may occur with a minimal response window. Servicing pressure vessels must never take place unless the system has been fully depressurized, drained, and locked out. In this busy repair yard, a mechanic works beneath the tilted cab of a heavy truck. During the inspection, a critical safety lapse occurs. Hydraulic systems are designed to lift loads, not to hold them indefinitely. Relying solely on hydraulic pressure creates a significant safety concern, as seals and hoses can degrade over time without visible warning. Manufacturer-installed mechanical locking bars or support props must always be engaged before working beneath a raised cab. Mechanics should assume hydraulic pressure may not remain stable and ensure that solid physical supports are in place at all times. Inside an automated manufacturing cell, a worker steps past the safety perimeter to make a quick adjustment, believing the machine has paused, unaware the cycle isn't fully stopped. Entering a press enclosure without full lockout tagout procedures creates a significant operational hazard. Safety interlocks and light curtains are designed to shut down power automatically, but bypassing them or trusting a temporary pause allows unexpected machine movement. Every machine must be treated as capable of restarting at any moment. Energy sources must be fully isolated and secured with a personal lock before hands enter the restricted operating area. Production speed is never worth the risks posed by high-force automated equipment. In a steel processing plant, a large metal sheet is hoisted using 2 lifting points. When one unexpectedly releases, the entire load shifts. Standing near suspended loads is strictly prohibited. During a 2-point lift, loss of one attachment causes the load to rotate along an elevated risk movement path rather than traveling straight downward. An exclusion zone must account for the full swing radius, not just the area beneath the load. Hooks must be equipped with functioning safety latches, and suspended materials should never be guided by hand. Tag lines allow controlled positioning from a safe distance while maintaining proper separation. In a busy commercial kitchen, every second counts. As a worker moves through a narrow aisle, one small slip on a grease-slick floor turns a routine moment into a split-second scare. Hot fryer oil should never be drained into open containers located in walkways. Kitchen floors are high-slip environments, and placing heated liquids at foot level creates a serious temperature-related safety concern with limited response time during a loss of balance. Oil must be allowed to cool significantly before draining and should only be transported using sealed, purpose-built containers. Walkways must be kept free of grease buildup, and slip-resistant footwear should always be worn to reduce slip-related incidents in food service environments. To keep learning from these important workplace safety lessons, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. Stay aware, stay safe.